All right, let's get it going. Welcome back. Uh, Thanks for watching. Today I'm going to be going over in depth my 2026 U.S. men's team, the striker pool that I'm going to be bringing, and the three guys that I'm bringing and why. I kind of based it off a 26-man roster, and the system I see Poch going with is a 5-3 or 5-1-3-1 with two wing backs, three center backs, a defensive mid, left center and right mid, and then the striker up top. Um, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. If you want to go back and watch the wingback videos, I'll link that in the description below. This is the last positional pool I'm making, so those videos have already been dropped and released. So go check those out. The full 26-man roster video will also be linked at the end of the video and in the description below. So go check those out. But yeah, let's get started. First, I got my starter. I don't know, a lot of people are going to see another guy starting, but I think under Poch, he's been the best, and he's been the most reliable when we need him in the U.S. jersey, and that's Haji Wright, the big man. Great at hold-up play, great at attacking aerial balls. For a big guy, he's impressive at the speed he can make those runs in behind and how precise he is with those runs in behind. Um, Very good for that lone striker role. Like, he doesn't really need too much of that hold up play from the guy below him, like a 10 necessarily, or if you want Tillman, and he doesn't really need the help from him. He can kind of anchor that build up play and let Weah and Pulisic and McKennie be free and make runs off of him, and he can find them for nice looks on goal. His size stretches the defense, his pace. Uh, he's been super consistent over with Coventry. He's been scoring a lot of goals with them. And yeah, I have him as my starter, but a lot of guys will see this next guy as their starter, and that's, of course, Fuller and Balogun. Uh, hasn't been lighting it up for Monaco like we necessarily need. But you watch any U.S. highlight of him, and he's just, anytime the ball's at his feet, he can be in a straitjacket right there, just completely shut down by all the defenders, and then boom, one touch to the right, and he's firing off a shot that almost goes in. Um, he really can change the game in that sense, where if we're not getting the best build up play and we just somehow get it up to him, and then he's all tied down, he can create something from nothing. But good pace for counterattack. Super fluid in the open games, like I was talking about. Like, if we don't really have those overlapping runs there to support him, he's able to create his own options. Super clinical finisher, of course. I think Haji Wright is probably our best finisher, especially with his size. But Balogun's, he's just a whole different level of talent. Been getting a lot of call ups under Poch. I think he's a lock for the squad for sure. The next guy, the man who had his Fulham move shut down, playing over with PSV currently. I think he's gonna be fine with that arm injury. I think he probably already is fine with that arm injury. But that's Ricardo Pepi, the ultimate super sub. There was a streak there for like 5 windows when anytime he wouldn't start and he'd get subbed in late, he would just score, 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 score. Um, Unreal poacher. Great instincts in the box, especially with the ball at his feet. Poch has liked him a bunch. He's super steady with club, super consistent with us too, which is probably the most important. Uh, yeah, Pepi. If Pepi's healthy, he's going. Um, Now, if any of those guys, I think those are guaranteed locks. I don't see Poch going away from those three for any reason other than injury. And if there is injury, one of the big omissions, a guy he's called up a bunch but just has not performed, would be Patrick Ajamong. I was watching some highlights against, like, Guatemala was one of them. Maybe Haiti was another one where he just had chance after chance and just could not bury. I don't know what it was, but he's over with Darby County now, and he's playing pretty well. But maybe in the past there was too much damage done last World Cup or Gold Cup that he might have burned that bridge. But I don't see him getting brought. But always with those injuries, you never know. Another guy is Josh Sargent. Before this transfer window and everything went down with him, Norwich, and him wanting that move to Toronto, I would say that he's just on the outside, but I think he is way on the outside now, especially because he probably won't be getting any consistent minutes before the World Cup. He's just blocked by the other guys. I see Ajamong even being in front of him. He, who knows how that's all going to play out, but how it looks right now with him destroying the relationships at his club, yeah, it's not likely, and it's not great that he's involved in all that drama either. That's like a little bit of schoolgirl behavior, but we'll see how that all plays out. Another guy, if we're playing a crappy team and we need someone to score 75 goals, if we play Grenada again, or who knows what it is, that's Jesus Ferreira. Gets it done in the small moments, can't really get it done in the big moments. Super pacey, not the greatest finisher, but he's super creative. Stretches the defense with that pace. Good in link-up play, but for this system we kind of need like just a pure finisher, and I don't think Ferreira necessarily gives us that. Not the most physical guy. Little bit of inconsistent form for the national team, so I see him being on the outside. A guy who was in a bunch of the previous camps, like Berhalter era camps, was Jordan Pefok. Physical target man, just was never really a clinical finisher for us. I don't see him getting brought. I think he's a little old too. Dips in his form, just not really in Poch's mix. Not really what we're probably gonna go after. The next guy, who, I mean, of course, I wish he was in the pool. Everyone probably does with his injuries. Unfortunately, he hasn't been too closely linked with the national team, and that's Daryl Dike. Physical specimen. He's just so big, so strong. Pretty good finisher. Big time threat when he's getting the consistent, healthy minutes with West Brom, but he just hasn't really had that. And if he comes back from injury, and I don't know if he goes on like a goal a game pace in the coming months here. Who knows? Could really go either way. But a lot of injuries. Hasn't been the most reliable, really. Next, we got a guy who's been tearing it up in the MLS recently. Made the move to Mexico. That's Brandon Vasquez, the big, strong poacher, I guess, and great finisher in the box. Good amount of U.S. men's team caps. Hasn't been the most consistent selection. Kind of competing with Pepi a little bit, but he's on the outside looking in for sure. But he's one of those guys, kind of like Ajamong. Definitely could get a call up. Just not the most likely with the current three that we have and we're confident with. Another guy who's also kind of like that is Brian White. He was called up to the last Gold Cup squad. He just didn't really perform much. He's been money in the MLS with the Whitecaps, but yeah, just kind of outside that top tier for us. A little below the Haji Wrights, Pepis, and Baloguns, but never know. Injuries could happen. He could catch fire. Who knows? And then three guys who I see on the outside, but they're young, so we could look at them for next World Cup. That's Matthew Hoppe, the big guy, playing in the championship over there with Middlesbrough. Hasn't had the most consistent form or minutes. Kind of lost momentum from when he was first getting those calls up a couple years back. But yeah, he who knows? He could really take that next step developmentally and be an option for us next World Cup. But we'll see how that plays out. Duncan McGuire with Orlando. Kind of had a breakout season last year. Super athletic finisher. Limited senior caps, of course. I don't see him making it, but another name to look forward to for next World Cup. Nimfasha Bershimas, of course, with the bald man with Charlotte. But he's, of course, been linked with moves to Bayern. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. He's kind of like a prodigy a little bit. Kind of him, Kevin Sullivan. It'll be interesting to see how those play out and those guys for the next World Cup. Thanks for watching. Leave your opinions below. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you agree with, disagree with. That's the end of the in-depth series. So let me know what videos you want to see next. And thanks for watching.